everyone. In this lesson, we'll learn about the Longan origin producing techniques. We'll focus on studying the processing Longan origin producing techniques and the quality inspection standards for Longan flesh medicine in this lesson. 1. The processing Longan origin producing techniques. Longan flesh is the aril of Dimorcarpus longan lauer in the Sapindaceae family. Pick ripe fruits in summer and fall, dry them, remove the shells and cores, and bask them until dry and non-sticky. There are two types of the processing Longan origin producing techniques. One is the traditional processing technique, and the other is the modern processing technique. Let's first learn the traditional processing Longan origin producing. The traditional processing technique for Longan flesh has the following steps: fruit selection, cutting, fruit cleaning, fruit scalding, baking or drying, peeling the shell to get the flesh and then drying or sun-drying, and inspecting and packing. Fruit selection: varieties with small, thick flesh, small seeds, and high sugar content are preferred, such as Chu Liang, Shixia, Dewu Yuan, and Guang Yan. Cutting and fruit cleaning: after picking the fruits, use small scissors to cut off the fruits, place them in bamboo baskets, and put them in clean water to wash off the ash of the shells. Baking or drying: on sunny days, expose the Longan to the sun. After half dry, use baking stoves to dry them. In case of rainy days, use baking stoves to dry until 70% or 80% dried. Remove the shell and core to get the flesh. Manually remove the shells and cores of the 70% or 80% Longan fruits. The Longan flesh can be shaken, and take out the flesh. Drying or sun-drying: lay the peeled Longan flesh flat on a container and continue to sun or bake. If placed in the oven, dry at 60 degrees Celsius. Inspecting and packing: the processed Longan flesh is not sticky when grasping the flesh with hands and releasing it. The flesh is crisp, rich in flavor, and bright yellow. Next, we'll learn the modern processing technique of Longan flesh. The modern processing technique of Longan flesh has the following steps: fruit selection, cutting, cleaning, shell and core removal, palletizing, loading, drying, and inspecting and packing. Fruit selection: varieties with small, thick flesh, small seeds, and high sugar content are preferred, such as Chu Liang, Shixia, Dewu Yuan, and Guang Yan. Cutting and cleaning: after picking the fruits, use small scissors to cut off the fruits, place them in bamboo baskets, and put them in clean water to wash off the ash of the shells. Shell and core removal: use professional tools to remove the shells and the cores. First, punch a hole in the head of the Longan, remove the core and shell of the Longan, take out the whole flesh of the Longan, and the flesh should be kept as spherical as possible. Mechanization with automatic Longan stripping machine for shell and core removal is 10 times more efficient than manual shell and core removal. Flesh cleaning: once the Longan flesh is peeled, rinse it with clean water. The sugar content in the Longan flesh is too high, which may make the flesh stick to the plate, so it is usually rinsed with a high-pressure water gun or water pipe. Palletizing: loading: place the processed Longan flesh on 304 stainless steel mesh plates/PE food-grade plastic or bamboo baking trays. Pay attention not to stack the Longan flesh. After arranging, place the baking trays on the drying rack of the oven. Drying: push the dryer into the drying room with an air energy heat pump and start the drying process. Heat pump drying is a gentle drying method, which is close to natural drying, and from which high-quality Longan flesh can be obtained. Drying is carried out in 4 stages. 1. Control the dryer temperature to around 60 degrees Celsius and set the drying time to 4 hours. 2. After initial drying, take the Longan flesh out from the oven and air it for a few hours. 3. Then adjust the temperature to 50 degrees Celsius and set the drying time to 3 hours. 4. After that, lower the temperature to 45 degrees Celsius and set the drying time to 1 to 2 hours. Inspecting and packing: the finished Longan flesh is not sticky when grasping the flesh with hands and releasing it. The flesh is crispy, rich in flavor, and yellow. 2. Standards for quality inspection of Longan flesh. The quality of processed Longan flesh medicinal materials should comply with the relevant regulations of the 2020 edition, Part 1, of the Chinese Pharmacopoeia. The standards for medicinal materials to be tested include: total ash content should not exceed 4%, water-soluble extractives should not be less than 70%, and moisture should not exceed 15%. Appearance: this product is an irregular sheet with vertical rupture, or in a sac shape, 1.5 centimeters long, 2 to 4 centimeters wide, and 0.1 centimeters thick. It is from brownish yellow to reddish brown in color, and translucent. The outer surface is wrinkled and uneven, and the inner surface is bright and has fine wrinkles. Flesh in thin slices is soft and moist, while the sac-shaped ones are slightly hard. It is slightly fragrant and sweet. This course introduces the processing techniques and quality inspection standards for Longan flesh, with a focus on the drying process and quality inspection standards for Longan flesh. That's all for this lesson. Goodbye, everyone.